What's going on, Sooner Nation? Oklahoma might be in the playoffs, but the transfer portal is starting to heat up as you are seeing numerous players declare that they are intending to enter the transfer portal. And it's important to make that note, and we'll get to the reason why. But today we're going to talk about some transfer portal targets that I believe the Oklahoma Sooners could be potentially pursuing. If you're also new to the channel, you want to make sure you're hitting that like and hit the subscribe button so that when we talk about more transfer portal targets that actually enter when the portal opens, you're not missing out on any of it. Plus, 62% of you guys aren't subscribed. So to make sure that you're not missing any of these videos, just check the box down below and make sure you're subscribed. It really helps the channel out, and it'll help you be able to see this content. Jump in the comments below and let me know who from the portal that has declared they're going to enter you would like Oklahoma to go out there and grab. But let's just go ahead and let's dive into it. With players now declaring that they're going to enter the transfer portal, which I have explained is significant because they can declare that they're going to enter, but they can't actually enter until January when it opens. So what this is going to be able to do is this is going to allow, while Oklahoma and some of these other playoff teams are in the playoffs coaching this out, it allows Jim Nagy, Stacey Gage, Taylor Redd, Lake Dawson, all of these guys in the front office for Oklahoma to be able to go out there and get a head start on some of these guys that they might want to go out there and chase in the transfer portal. And there's going to be some big names. Oklahoma's going to go big game hunting, especially with the scholarship count going from 85 to 105. We're going to be looking at filling up the roster. So keep that in mind as well. But a couple of targets that have declared that they're going to enter the portal that I think the Oklahoma Sooners are definitely going to target. One of them in a wide receiver that could be a wide receiver one for Oklahoma. I don't think he's on the level of like a Cam Coleman or a Brian Wesco, who I know you guys have heard so much about. And for those guys, it really just comes down to, are they going to actually enter the portal, right? And then when they actually enter the portal, is Oklahoma going to play ball? And I'll believe it when I see it, because so far we have not seen Oklahoma go out there and pay for a big-time wide receiver. So if a big-time wide receiver like Cam Coleman actually enters the portal, we're going to have to see it. We're going to have to see the staff go out there and spend that kind of money before we believe that they will go out there and do it. But for right now, we know Nick Marsh plans to enter the transfer portal, and he is going to be a really big target across college football. Coming in at 6'3", 203 pounds, a sophomore. He's actually from Michigan, so you would wonder if the Wolverines would try to get involved as well. This past season, 59 total receptions for 662 yards and 6 total touchdowns with a less than average quarterback talent, right? So Nick Marsh coming to the University of Oklahoma with a guy like John Mateer, you would imagine would be 1,000+ yard wide receiver for Oklahoma. And that's somebody that I think Oklahoma could use and somebody that Oklahoma is definitely looking for. So keep your eyes on Nick Marsh. That would be a really interesting target for the Oklahoma Sooners. Another guy that entered the transfer portal that really intrigued me was a guy by the name of, and I'm sorry if I butchered this, but it's Mateo Tagoa. I think I really hope that's right. Linebacker from USC. Yes, USC is losing recruits. This is somebody that insiders were really excited about. USC fans were really excited about. Really great upside there. 6'4", 205 pounds. This season, only 4 total tackles, 3 solos, 1 forced fumble. But man, incredible player. And he's going to have a lot of suitors that actually will come after him if he actually enters. Right now, like I said, it's just plans to enter. But this is somebody that I could 100% see the Oklahoma Sooners kind of circling up on, right? Now, knocking on the door saying, hey, would you be interested in coming over here? Additionally, for anybody that's out of the West Coast, which he's out of Las Vegas, so not necessarily West Coast, but anybody in that West Coast territory, that's going to be Stacey Ford territory right there, where he's done his best work and done his best work so far on the recruiting trail for Oklahoma. So I want you to keep that in mind too. Some of these guys, Stacey Ford or any of the guys in the front office, they might have a prior relationship with, and I think that could go a long way for Oklahoma. Additionally, keeping our eyes set on USC, Carlon Jones. Now, I don't think this is going to be like a top of the board guy for Oklahoma, but I think it's somebody that Oklahoma would be interested in because 6'3", 310 pounds, originally from Texas out of Bay City. This past season, 4 total tackles, 3 solos. This is a guy that I think could come in and be a really good rotational piece for Todd Bates in that defensive line room. And remember, you are replacing Grayson Halton and Dominic Williams in that defensive line room. Plus anybody that might portal out that you're not expecting to portal out, because that you might have maybe one of those. So just keep that in mind. That's always a possibility, something you got to think of. Carl Jones would be a fantastic piece for Oklahoma to go in there and add. So will Oklahoma go and snip around him? That one we're going to have to wait and find out as well. But I would expect Oklahoma to potentially be interested in here, maybe kick the tires. But like I said, not going to be a guy that's coming in to be a starter. Going to just be a guy that can really come in and be a solid rotational piece for you. Now, additionally, going back to linebackers, the Oklahoma Sooners could kind of circle back to a name that might sound a little more familiar in Kamori House. Now, he started his career at Washington, then transferred to North Carolina. This past season, 78 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup. Last year, he had 4 pass breakups. Kamori House is going to be a big-time prospect in the transfer portal and one that Texas is going to look at. Georgia will probably snoop around. Like, all the big-time schools are going to come after him. And if they're going to all come after him, you'd imagine Oklahoma wants to as well. This is one where I've talked to a couple people. Oklahoma is interested and will be interested in Kamori House. Now, I know that there are other linebacker targets that Oklahoma could potentially go after that haven't announced their intentions to enter the portal or obviously haven't entered because it's not open yet. So this isn't necessarily maybe a top of the board guy, but it's one that 100%, if he's available for Oklahoma to take, I definitely think they will go out there and take him, especially since you got to understand you're replacing guys like Kobe McKenzie this year. Does Kip Lewis have a decision to make? I think some of those things are going to play a factor. Lastly, one of the guys that I want to talk about is Scooter Jackson. By the way, what a name, by the way. Scooter Jackson should totally have an NIL deal with any of those like Lime Scooters or any of those. 6'1", 185 pounds, transferring out of UCLA, Compton, California. That's where he's originally from. 44 total tackles this year, 31 solos, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions, 3 pass breakups. This is a Stacey Ford guy, guys. Stacey Ford got a connection here. So the question is, can Stacey Ford play the connection that he has prior had before he came to Oklahoma to get Oklahoma a star safety? Or at least that's where I think he would end up playing for Oklahoma. Only time's going to tell when the portal actually opens and these guys enter. We'll see what Oklahoma's interest actually is. But this will at least give you guys a rough list to start out with and kind of get some names to get you started to keep an eye on. So we'll keep you guys updated as the transfer portal heats up a little more. Before I let you guys go, hit that like, hit the subscribe button, jump in the comments below. Let me know, out of all these prospects that I just talked about, who's the one that you want Oklahoma to land the most? We'll see you all next time.